Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me testing out some new, mostly drugstore products. So actually all drugstore products. So I'm using the ColourPop No Filter Stick, the BH Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer, and one of the new Makeup Revolution lipsticks. Actually, I don't know if they're new, but it's new to me. So I'm testing out all those. I'm also using quite a few Lawless products, so if you're interested in how those apply, I'm using all three of the powders and the highlighter, so you'll kind of see those in action, and I hope you guys enjoy this quick makeup look. So I'm going to test out a new foundation, and this is the ColourPop No Filter Stick, and this is in the shade Fair 27N, and I bought this a while ago, but my skin has just been so bad, and I just felt weird about using like a stick foundation on top of all these breakouts, but I'm just feeling like my skin's not getting better quick enough, and I want to try it, so I'm just going to swipe this on and see what happens. I have a feeling I'm going to need quite a lot of this because I have so much to cover, and I don't think this is like a super matte full coverage foundation, so we're just going to go to town here to start with. And then I'm going to use my beauty blender, I guess, to kind of rub this in. Hopefully it blends. Okay, not blending at all. Plan B, I need a brush real quick. Okay, where's my foundation brush? Ah, this is very stressful. Okay, how about this Real Techniques brush? Okay, that's better. It's blending now. Okay, I think this color is okay, which is good because I purchased this online and it was a little hard to figure out my match. But I looked at some like swatches. I just Googled swatches for the foundation and found it. Okay, so far it's looking like a really nice natural finish. Definitely not full coverage enough to cover all these blemishes though, so we're definitely gonna have to go in with another layer once we blend this out. Okay, so that is one layer, and as you can see, it definitely did kind of cover a little tiny bit, but I definitely need more. So I'm gonna go in with a whole second layer with pretty much as much as I put on the first time, because as you can see I have lots of dark blemishes to cover, but it feels really like nice on the skin. It doesn't feel too greasy or too dry, so I'm liking it. Okay, I just painted so much on, so hopefully this is good. Okay, there we go. We're getting a little bit more coverage now, and I'm liking it. Okay, so this is with the 2 layers on, and it looks okay. There's a hair stuck to my cheek right here, though. Okay, got that. And I'll come up close. I think, like, especially on my nose here, it's really just kind of clinging to my pores and not looking that smooth. But I think this is partially to do with the fact that I used this Real Techniques Duo Fiber face brush. I was just scrambling to find a brush that could, like, blend out foundation, so that's what I went with. But I'm just going to go on top of it like this with the Beauty Blender just to kind of smooth it out, and hopefully this will kind of pat it into the skin a little more and make it not look like it's clinging to my pores so much, and I think it's definitely helping. As you can see, it looks a little bit more flawless now, and I think that's good. For concealer, I'm super excited about this BH Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer. I got mine in the shade 100, which I believe is the lightest one, and it's supposed to be a dupe for the Huda Beauty concealer that looks like this. Theirs has a metal tip, this one's plastic, but what you gonna do? So I'm just gonna swipe some of this on under the eye. I don't really like this kind of applicator. It just feels really messy and I can't really control how much is coming out, but the coverage of this is supposed to be really good, so we'll power through to test it out. Okay, yeah, because like what is that? Now I'm gonna have to wipe all this off. I think next time I would just like make a little dollop come out and then use my finger to kind of spread it on, but we're trying it how it is, so there's that. And I'm going to take my Beauty Blender again and just blend this in. I think this color is okay. This feels like a really creamy concealer, like it feels like it's definitely going to crease if I don't set it. Of course, I always have to set my concealer, but it just feels really wet, so this might be nice if you have like a little bit of drier skin. I have oily skin, so doesn't matter for me, but definitely gonna need to set. Now to set, I'm gonna use what I've been loving to set lately, which is my Lawless Seal the Deal powder. So I'm gonna use this one in the shade Brightening Translucent, and I'm just going to like tap some out and then pick it up. Also with my Beauty Blender, I'm gonna make sure there's no creases first before I go to set. And then I'm going to quickly pick this up and set so that none of the creases get set. So I'm just picking this up on my damp Beauty Blender and dabbing it in. And I use this to prime the eyelids as well, as you saw, so I'm just setting up there as well so that they're ready for eyeshadow later. And then what I do is I take my Real Techniques little setting brush here with the same powder, and whatever's left in the lid, I kind of just pick up on my brush, and then I use that to kind of dust under the eyes and kind of help remove any excess powder that kind of gets stuck from using the sponge and kind of it's slightly baking. And then also this I think helps like set if there's any little areas that the sponge didn't reach. This just feels like it really gets in there, kind of sets anything, removes any excess, and just really helps my under eyes. So this is what I've been doing every day under my eyes. Okay, and as you can see, that concealer and also this powder were basically the same color as my skin. They're not lighter or brighter or anything. If anything, the powder is like a little bit darker. So I'm not really getting that brightening effect, but I'm not really after that lately, so I'm fine with it. But just something to keep in mind if you're fair, that powder is a little bit darker. And then I'm going to use their classic translucent shade, and same thing, picking some up from the lid with my beauty blender. And I'm just going to pick that up and set my face. And I love this powder. It's super mattifying, especially if you have kind of a dewy foundation. And the finish of this foundation just looks like kind of like a natural finish. It doesn't look too matte or too greasy, which is perfect for me. But I am oily, so I want to definitely make sure everything's gonna stay matte. And the day I'm filming this is 4th of July, so it's nice and warm out. And I just definitely want my makeup to be lasting throughout the day. And then I also am sure to pick some up to set the cheeks right here, because this is where bronzer and blush and all that are going to be. So I find that if I don't set my foundation there, everything just really kind of moves around once I go on top with blush and bronzer, and then it kind of removes the coverage from my foundation. So I really try to set, and it's nice to set by like tapping in the powder as well instead of brushing it on with a brush, because it really helps like keep the coverage and keep the foundation in place. And then again, I kind of do the same thing as under the eyes. I take a bigger fluffy brush just with whatever excess is in the cap, and I kind of set anywhere on the face that might have gotten missed. And this also helps remove the excess powder that might be sitting anywhere. And now just for funsies, I'm going to use the 3rd shade of the Lawless powder. This is the Golden Translucent powder. This is what I've also been wearing the last couple of days. And I take this on a big like stippling brush, and I just pick this up, and it's really too dark and orange for me. But I just like these powders because the formula is really nice and they're like talc free, and I just feel really good about putting them on my skin, especially like now when my skin is breaking out really bad. I just like to have something with like a clean formula like this. So I'm just going to bronze up the whole face. For blush, I'm using my favorite everyday blush at the moment, and this is the ColourPop Between the Sheets Super Shock Cheek, and I just picked this up on the like butt of my beauty blender here and tap it into the cheeks, and I really like this a lot. This is like the perfect flushed color for me. And you can also kind of build it up. Like at first not that much shows up, but you can build it up to make it really intense, or you can have more of a natural flush. And then for highlight, I'm going to use another Lawless product because why not? This is their Lucid Skin Highlighter in the shade Afternoon Delight, which is really pretty. Normally I do this on top of my ColourPop highlighter, but I'm going a little bit more subtle today. I think this is a really nice like natural highlighter because it's like a little bit dark for my fair skin. It shows up just a little bit more natural looking because it's so goldy. I think on different skin tones it might look a little bit brighter and more intense. Okay, and then for eyeshadow, I'm just going to do my regular everyday eyeshadow, which is super boring. I'm just going to use 2 MAC shades, which is Rice Paper and Soft Brown, just all over the lid because I'm not feeling fancy today. I just want to see how this concealer does as a lid primer, so I'm not going to like go crazy trying a bunch of different shadows because it might be a huge mess later, or if these ones stay put, I know it would be good to use for other eye looks. So I'm just doing, I just did, what's it called? Rice Paper all over, and then I'm just quickly buffing Soft Brown through the crease. Honestly, I would have just used a bronzer through the crease today, but since I used that Lawless powder and it's like a loose, it was like a loose bronzing powder, that like is a little bit harder to use as an eyeshadow, so just going for my standby eyeshadows. For brows, my absolute favorite, and I think this might be my holy grail, is now the ColourPop Brow Boss in the shade Ash Brown. And I'm just obsessed with this, can't stop using it. It's just absolutely perfect for my brows. So I'm just brushing them up now, and then I'm going to lightly fill them in with the pencil. And I just love this because it doesn't get too intense right off the bat. It just like is like the right deep tone, but it isn't too pigmented where just all of a sudden you have a Sharpie brow and you don't know what happened. It's just really nice to build up really easily and naturally and make your brows look really natural. So I kind of just build them each up a little bit and then go back over to perfect. And I've gone back to my favorite brow setter from the drugstore. This is the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara in the shade Soft Brownie Brows. And I almost just put this on my eyelashes, oopsie, but I love this. especially with that brow pencil, because this is a little bit lighter, and then the brow pencil is like the perfect dark shade to match my brows. So it just kind of highlights my brows and makes them look like pretty dimensional and natural. And then for mascara, I'm going to take my MAC. This is their In Extreme Dimension 3D Black Lash. I've just been trying so many different mascaras at the moment, but they all are smudging on like my upper lid here. I think it's just because it's hot and it's summer and I'm like just greasier and oilier than normal. But just every single one is just smearing all over the place up there. Like I never get it under the eye. It's always up on the eyelid because my lashes are long and they touch there. So I stopped curling my lashes so they don't touch as much. And I've been trying out all these different like waterproof mascaras and they still all smudge there. Like I bought the waterproof Lash Sensational. I bought the waterproof Milk one. And then I tried this one yesterday and it kind of smudged the least out of all of them. So I'm hoping that that wasn't just a fluke. So I'm wearing it again today to test it out because I'm also going on a trip this weekend and I want to pack just one mascara and not have to worry about it. And this one doesn't really give the finish to my lashes that I like the best. Like I like a little bit more volume than what this one gives. This one, if you kind of layer it, it just starts to look spidery and just a little too clumpy for me. But if it's not going to smudge, that's all I can ask for. Since mascara is on, I'm going to go back in with my Lawless highlighter and just a little tiny shader brush to highlight my inner corner here. Now all that's left is lips, and I'm going to first line with my Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. And this is a really deep brown color. I can't talk and line at the same time. This is kind of a deep color and I'm just lining. I'm not going to fill in my lips because I've really been loving this with a lighter lipstick over top, and the one I have to try is lighter. So I'm going to use this Makeup Revolution lipstick, and okay, this has no name. I think they're called the Renaissance lipsticks or something though. This is in the shade Prime, which is like the nudie shade, and this is like pretty much an exact dupe for a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. But let me try it on and then I'll try to find the dupe. So that's what it looks like on, and then I'm also going to swatch it on my hand because I have these two Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks that I'm pretty sure are very close to this. This is like a lot creamier formula. The Charlotte Tilbury is a lot more matte. This one is Kim KW, which, okay, this one's a lot lighter. Just kidding, but I mean the packaging is basically identical. The Makeup Revolution one's just a little smaller and lighter feeling. Okay, this is the one that looks like a pretty close match. This is called Miss Kensington. Okay, I guess they are a lot lighter. Okay, not a dupe, but the packaging is clearly inspired by Charlotte Tilbury. Like if I was just holding them like this at first glance, you wouldn't know that this one isn't Charlotte Tilbury. But anyway, there's a 3 just for comparison's sake. But this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed getting ready with me and trying out some new products. I think this ColourPop foundation looks nice. It is kind of separating a little bit on me. It didn't really, I think, apply that smoothly, but that might have just been user error. I think next time I need to kind of use a different brush and kind of like rub it in a little bit better. Definitely don't try rubbing it with a beauty blender. That was a huge fail, so learn from that mistake. And also this Studio Concealer, what is this? Studio Pro Concealer from BH Cosmetics, I think looks pretty nice. It's already starting to kind of crackle a little bit. The coverage is good though. It's pretty full coverage. I mean, if you're looking for something that seems like a dupe of the Huda Beauty one, I think this is probably comparable, and it's only like $7 or something like that. So definitely a bargain. And then this foundation stick, I mean, if you're looking for a stick foundation, I think this is actually only $7 too, the ColourPop No Filter Stick. So can't really be beat. I wouldn't say it's the most flawless finish, but I definitely don't hate it. It looks pretty good. I'm happy with how the look turned out, and this is like just a really nice everyday quick makeup look for me today since it's a holiday and I'm just running tons of errands and staying home. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, in my description box I list all the products that I used. I also have my Amazon storefront link there and like other stuff, so if you guys are interested, take a look at the description box, and don't forget to subscribe because I upload 2 days a week on Monday and Thursday, and thank you so much for watching.